Well, man, look, we're gonna go ahead and get started right about now. Right now on the podcast, I'm pleased to welcome my guest, one of my easy top 3 favorite YouTubers right now in the game, xChaseMoney. What's going on, dude?
Oh my goodness. Thank you for that intro, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm good. I'm chilling. It's gonna be a little warm today, but I'm trying to stay cool. You know what I'm saying? Nice way to start the morning. I didn't know that.
Yeah, man, look, and I'm not just saying it because you're on here. I've said it before on multiple podcasts. It goes Tyrone Magnus is number 3. It goes xChaseMoney, number 2. And then it goes probably like Angry Grandpa or something like that, number 1.
Okay. Oh, that's good company. All right, I mess with it.
So, man, what you been up to during this past couple of weeks?
Hold on. Let me put my phone on vibrate. All right. Honestly, nothing. So, with the Corona stuff, I basically was like out of the gym for a couple months, and I realized that it might be a year or more before I feel comfortable going into a gym. So I got myself some gym equipment so I could do my workouts outside. But beyond that, I mean, I'm pretty simple. Like, I mean, I get up. There's not a lot of travel right now. I get up every morning, same thing. Get up, like 5 days a week. I get up, I go do a workout. I go for a 30-minute run, come back, and I'll get ready to record some videos. And then probably around like 3 or 4, I'll hop on with my guys and do some content with them. And then, I'll make some dinner, watch some TV with my lady, and that's pretty much it day to day outside of, like grocery stores and all that kind of stuff. So I just been waiting for new consoles, honestly. That's about it.
Yeah, man, have you messed around with the new Avengers game yet?
So I haven't. I was going to start recording today because I actually have a Black Panther costume that I was going to wear for that because sometimes I put costumes on. So I haven't. Right. I played the demo, though. I did play the demo. I did not play the full game yet. I heard it's has so many like microtransactions that it's like.
Oh my God, man!
Really?
Let me tell you something. I'm going to say 75-80% done with the game because you can kind of tell where you are in the game, just how the story is progressing.
Yeah.
And I'm almost done with it, like 80% done. Man, the thing has probably failed, skipped, or something. Brand new $70 game, like 12 times. I've had to restart my PlayStation, redo everything. And it's not a bad game. The story is actually excellent. The gameplay is great, in my opinion. But it's just the fails that it has. Like I think if they would have kept it another 6-7 months and got all that straight, it would have been just like Spider-Man. Because Spider-Man is probably my favorite game that I played in a very, very long time.
Yeah, me too. What's one of for sure.
Okay. No, I'm ready for you to get on there, man. And here's how I do it. I either watch somebody play a game just to see if I would be interested in it, or I've already played it and know what it's like and would like to watch someone else play it. Like me, the Crash Bandicoot, that's my favorite game of all time, just from when I was younger.
Right.
And to see you watch it and the rage, just see the rage was kind of hilarious. And was like, I remember that experience when I first had it.
Dude. And then what's crazy? Like I avoid so many of those games because people think I enjoy being mad. I don't like being mad at the game. I have a problem. I don't know how to stop it. So I try to avoid those games, but I know I can't avoid them for too long. But I came up on Crash as well. Like, what was that, 96 that game came out? Like, I think it was 96.
I don't know. I was born 98, so I was probably 3 or 4 or 5 when I first played it. So
okay.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, so like I played Crash back in the day. I never owned a PlayStation. I had a Nintendo 64. I didn't get the PlayStation until PS2 when my friends had PlayStations, so I would play with them. And I remembered that. And I feel like I watch other YouTubers and Twitch streamers for the same reason. And there's some people it's just like pure entertainment. Like, oh, he's playing Crash or this person's playing any like rage game. I immediately like I gotta watch this because I already know what's gonna happen when they get to this part. So with the Crash thing, since I never owned the game, I never beat it, and completed all the levels and all of that stuff. So there was a lot about the game that I didn't know. So I finally played and I beat it and I'm like, all right, good. And then they announced Crash 4. And I said, now I'm pretty much stuck and that's going to come out in like a month. Now I'm going to have to play that too.
Yeah.
And they have, new games are easier with all the checkpoints. On Crash 4, they're going to have like the classic mode where like you can get the game over and have to start over and all that stuff, as well as like for the newer people who don't want to do all of that. So I feel like I'm going to be forced to play the way people remember the old Crash games. So, but Crash Bandicoot, good ass game, man.
Well, man, the thing with the fourth one, I was upset at the preview of what they showed because it wasn't the original how I remember it. Like, it was like you got to hit the magnets up, go down. You're going to play as, was it Cortex, something like that. I'm like, we never did that in the originals.
I know, I seen that. I to be honest with you, I don't even know what the story's about. Me either. It was pure like gameplay. Like, it was fun. It's obviously frustrating, but it was a fun game overall. Yeah, I didn't know what it was. It just said you could play as Cortex. I did like the newer stuff they did. Like one of the levels was like inverted, and as you like walk through it, colors the level and all of that stuff. So I was looking forward to that. But that happens with all of our games, though. They're going to bring out games that we haven't played for a long time, and they're going to probably do something. And it's like, I don't know about all of that until you play it.
My look, they're going to screw up Star Fox. They're going to bring the original Star Fox back and mess it up all completely.
What they did that? Didn't they mess up a Star Fox? What was the last Star Fox that came out?
Dude, I've never played any of the ones they just came out with, except for the one that was on Nintendo. Because I was just that game. It's so much. It's like a TV show or a movie. If they're going to recreate it, and I love it, I'm not going to watch the new one until years later to see if it's really worth it.
Right. Yeah, I played Star Fox 64 was the last, because I had a 64 like I was telling you. So I played that. I beat that. That game was tough. It was super fun. I didn't play any of the GameCube or Wii U or Switch versions if such game exists. So I don't know. Nintendo does pretty well though, I'd say, with their games. Generally, I know Metroid fans haven't really been happy for a while, but I expect a solid game. I'm waiting on. You know what I'm waiting on from Nintendo?
What's that?
Diddy Kong Racing, yo. They had said there was like leaks like 4 years ago, and we've seen nothing. I would love Diddy Kong Racing too.
Well, what I wish they would do is they would come out with. I don't know if you remember back in the Nintendo 64, they had the original Donkey Kong. I don't remember the name. It was like Donkey Kong something Island or something like that. Do you remember that? And it was
It was. You're not talking about Donkey Kong 64, are you? That's the one I remember.
Not. I'm not sure. Okay.
I think Donkey Kong. Let's see what was on this 64 real quick. I think it was Donkey Kong 64. I think that was the only one that came out in '99. I had that one, and the thing about that game is you had to get an expansion pack for the Nintendo 64 because it couldn't handle the game without it, and I think it came with the game. Yeah, I think that was the only one that came out for Nintendo 64. No, Super Nintendo was like Donkey Kong Country and all those ones.
That's it.
Okay.
That's it. Donkey Kong Country. That's it.
Yeah.
That's right.
Those games were hard. I never beat those.
Really, right. Now, have you ever? How long have you been doing the YouTube thing?
Ooh,
a long time, because I was going back on because I was doing a little bit of research. I don't do a lot on some people, but I was going back. You did like xChaseMoney was the first one, then you somehow rebranded the channel to 2, and I was going back.
Two different channels.
Right. Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
So the 2 different channels, the second channel, which xChaseMoney 2, is playing video games exclusively.
Right.
And then the first one is just like a vlogging, hangout kind of channel.
Yeah. So.
Am I right?
Yeah. Well, I don't honestly. The second channel, I know exactly what I'm doing. The first channel, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I just do whatever I feel like doing. It's usually like that. Like the second channel is just me playing the game. It's just pretty simple. The first channel is where like I'll do all the editing, and I'll sit in here for 12 hours, and I'll do these compilations. Like I just did one for 2K20 because 2K21 came out, so I got a whole bunch of clips from that. And then I have really a lot more of my content from the first channel comes from the second channel, or stuff that I do with my guys. And I mean, I'll do like compilations, or if I feel like vlog, and I've done all kinds of stuff on there. Basically, what happened is I started the first channel, and I was just playing Call of Duty, and I was so enraged with the game that I needed to play other things and make other content, or I wouldn't have probably stayed on YouTube if I only did Call of Duty. The game, it wasn't fun anymore. And it was just, I didn't like where the game was headed. So I was like, you know what? And then people thought that was all I played. So I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll just like start a walkthrough channel. It was just like a little one-off thought. I was like, I'll just do this for a little bit. So I started that, and then it picked up. And I really enjoy playing so many games that it's easier and more fun to do walkthroughs than to kind of be stuck playing Call of Duty. I mean, I used to enjoy Call of Duty so much. I would have 25 days played when the new one came out. So I went from that to like when Infinite Warfare came out, I didn't even buy that game. Like I completely skipped that. And when Advanced Warfare came out, I think I only played maybe for like 2 or 3 weeks. So I really wanted to avoid being stuck with one kind of thing. And then when I didn't want to do it, run into problems content-wise, because a lot of people get stuck in those boxes where like you see it all the time where I can tell there's no way I could play Call of Duty every day, 7-8 hours a day for like 6 years and then still enjoy the game. That's overkill. You know what I mean? I wanted to avoid.
I don't think anyone can on any game though.
I know. I say that all the time. Like a lot of the content creators, you're giving the fans what they want, but you gotta. A lot of them only play the game when they're doing content. A lot of people won't touch the games outside of it. So I wanted to kind of get out of that. I still play Call of Duty more casually, especially with the past one that came out. But yeah, you pretty much have it right. So yes, the walkthroughs came maybe 3 or 4 years after the original channel, and now that's more so. I'm more active on that channel.
Well, for me, I was a big Call of Duty fan, but then I don't remember which one it was. May have been Black Ops 3 or something like that, where they just started taking it to a whole new level. Like you went into space, started shooting the robots. I don't like that.
That was Advanced
personally.
Warfare.
So Advanced Warfare. So I kind of got off of that a little bit until they brought back like World War II and stuff like that. And I was kind of like, okay, well now we're getting back into the groove. But I was playing. Let me see, it's on my shelf. Star Wars Battlefront. That's the first one. I played for like 3 days, and I was like, I'm over it. It's just the same over and over, and I can't imagine, because most of what I've seen of your videos is like you start a game and you finish it, like you go start to finish. But has there ever been times where you're just like, look, I can't play this game anymore. We have to stop it in the middle?
I've never done that.
Never done that.
Never.
So if you hate the game so much, you just have to suck through it.
I've wanted to. There's been a couple games that was like this. Blair Witch. That was a terrible game, man. It was bad. I was so mad that they picked that. That was a bad game. Now that wasn't as bad because it was short. Some games are really long. And there's been times. It's only been a handful of times I've played like couple hundred games on that channel. There's only been a handful of times where I was like, all right, I'm over it. But I've never ended a series. And that's just for no particular reason. I kind of have like a streak. So I was like, we'll finish it. And if, a couple thousand people watch it, then, I can finish it for those people, and I'll let the rest of the people jump back on when I do something else. That's why I kind of try to mix it up a little bit. So if I'm playing a game that's like terrible, then I'll have another game that's really good in the process. So it's a little bit of balance, you know what I mean? So I can actually get through it. I can just, just chip away at it until I finish.
So how do you, because I'll tell you how I'm going to do my podcast, and I want to see how you do your actual videos. So I will go and I'll record maybe, right now I have like 15, 16 podcasts in the can. And so that's like, that gives me 15 to 16 weeks of freeway of, okay, if something happens, I'll have 1 week, I'll have 15 straight weeks of podcasts without having to record or do anything like that. So I kind of do them in a big, get them together and just release them as I want to. So how do you do, so do you play a game, play one, like, you know, you shut it off at part 1, part 2, and then you upload it, or do you just get them all together and just release them?
So
I know that's a long-winded question, but
no, I got it. I also, because by the way, like I in addition to the videos, I had started a podcast in 2013.
right.
And then I moved it to my main channel, my first channel, and then I moved to my second channel. So I do that. We don't do it every week. We do it most Wednesdays at this point. So with that, I don't, that's not pre-recorded. Now with the videos though, I would say it depends. So if there's like a hot game, let's say The Last of Us, right? Let's say The Last of Us 2 comes out. I know that's a big game. And the last thing I want to do, and I've been notorious for this, where I've taken like 2 or 3 months.
But terrible.
Yeah, you said it was terrible. Oh, we're gonna get to that. We can talk about that.
Okay.
And so like Red Dead 2, like it took me
Right.
last year was a shit year, but it took me that was 2018. Yeah, that's 2018. But it took me like 4 months to beat the game. Like realistically, nobody's gonna be. You know what I mean? So that's when I'm being like on the slower side. When I'm being good, when I'm like really being consistent with The Last of Us 2, like my goal was to beat that within a week and have all the videos like on YouTube, right? So with that game, I did very well as far as getting the videos out. So like literally I would record. So like so it's 11 a.m. my time. So if I was recording The Last of Us, I would say, yo, I'm just going to record till like 5. And I would just record. And then I put them all on YouTube, but I don't pack people's sub boxes with 20 videos. So what I'll do is I'll upload them as unlisted, and then I'll put them in a playlist that I've created. So anybody who's looking to binge watch can go and watch those.
Yeah.
But then I slowly make those public over time. So when it came to The Last of Us, at one point, dude, I had uploaded like 23 videos at one time to unlisted to the playlist, right? And then I rolled those out.
I noticed that.
Yeah.
Because I was going through the playlist and I was like, wow, he's got like 42 parts or whatever you want to call it. And I was like, okay. And then I watched it. I watched a good bit of them. And then the next couple of days in, I was like, part 23 is now live. I'm like, part 23? I could have sworn I just watched like part 41 or something.
Yeah, that's why. Because like I try to satisfy both parties. Because I definitely, I'm not, because I remember I was sub to DSP during Mass Effect 3. And dude, I swear to God, he uploaded, I'm not exaggerating, it was like 115 videos at one time. So like I got on my YouTube subscription and I said, oh my God, that was crazy. So there's the people who are like, hey, I watched all 10 of the videos, where's the next ones? And it's like, I don't want to put all those in the sub boxes. So I was like, this is what I'll do for you guys. Anybody that wants to binge watch, you click the playlist link, it'll play every video. But for the other people who want videos rolled out slowly, the videos from that list, it's like 2 or 3 at a time. So by the time you seen episode 40 or whatever that was up, you had already finished or watched or peeked out a bunch of those. But to the other people, they don't check the list. They just wait for them to hit sub boxes. So that's how I do those, So when I was good, to answer your complete question, then yeah, like when I did that, it was like really good because I had like 4 days where I wasn't pressed to have to make content, you know what I mean? Because I had stuff already, kind of like in the holster in case I couldn't record that day. So I've had those times, and I've had times where like I just didn't do anything for 2 weeks, which is not recommended by anybody who's going to be creating content. Do not do that. I've done it numerous times. You do not do that.
Well, you have an upside to being a video game player on YouTube because your girl can no longer say, you're playing too much video games, spend time with me. Well, actually, that's how you're making your money. Well, right. I'm pretty sure she can and does, but you have a legitimate excuse of, you like this house we're in, or we're going to sit here and we're going to play it.
Yeah. Well, so she's cool. Actually, when we first got together, she had just like asked about it, and at that time I may have been making, I don't know, $100 a month, something like that. It was fine. I bought groceries with that, you know what I mean? Or I put money on the cable bill, so it was cool. So she's never really done it. You know why though? Because she played games herself. You know, look. So I have my setup, and right next to me, over on this side of the room, she has her setup with her gaming PC, her PS4, all her games,
Okay.
and then not only does she game that way, but she plays like tabletop games with people from work and friends over Zoom and all that stuff. So she gets into all that. That's kind of what she likes to do. So she understands it. I do feel bad for the guys who don't have that, and their girls just like, you spend too much time on that game, you know, like. So yeah.
Yeah. But look, I remember. Or I don't remember. I was going back, and I remember you were gaming, and you were like, "Look, I got to go to I got to go to my job. I got to go to work, so I got to stop playing." Has YouTube able to let you quit your job and be able to live stably?
Yeah.
And if you don't want to answer, that's fine.
No,
It's just a personal.
That's fine. Yeah. No, yeah. So I worked as an IT guy started doing that in, I want to say 2008, and then until like 2015. And then even after that, the places that I worked for, I would still do consulting for them. And I also, because they were both like community organizations, they had computer labs for people who didn't have computers. They would come in and use them. But then they also
Sure.
we did. What you say?
I said sure. I was
Okay.
agreeing, just listening.
Okay. And then they had like we did computer classes and training, so I would do those as well. So for like the older crowd, the seniors who didn't know how to turn a computer on, I would teach them how to use a computer, and I would do that. And it was funny because I was working 2 part-time jobs, and my job was the same for both of the places. It was literally, you're the IT guy, you make sure all our stuff in the lab's working, our network is good, and then we have these classes for different things, and you make sure you do these trainings. And I did the same thing for both organizations. So I had stopped at the one organization first, and then I was only working just a couple hours a week, and that was really for me to just kind of get out of the house because I'm a homebody, so that was good for me to
Me too.
get out of the house and stuff like that. So I would do that, and I was only doing that. I only continued the second part-time job. It was only like 10 hours a week or something like that, which was not very long, but it was cool. And then I ended up stopping out as well, but I was still doing consulting for both of those organizations and other ones, but I haven't done any of that stuff for probably like 2 years was the last time I did anything for either of those organizations. So it's just strictly YouTube right now.
Well, I wonder if it's stressful not having that part-time job because even though it was 10 hours a week, let's say you're making $10 an hour, you're making $100 a week.
Right.
You don't have $100 a week anymore to fall back on if something's to happen. Not saying $100 is a lot, but some people $100 is a damn good bit. You know what I mean? And it's like, do you ever find it stressful to, well, I have to play this many games because if not, then we're not going to have this to fall back on or this. I don't know if that question makes sense.
No, it does. Well, so in the beginning, like I'm saying like 2010, 2011, 2012. Like I don't forget how things were before. A lot of people they start to do better and they forget. Dude, $100 was a huge deal. Literally, like I remember having my first car. It was an old car, 97 Mercury Tracer, right? So I had that. And then at the one job I was working, I only got paid once a month at that place. This was from 2007 to 2011. I worked, I got paid once a month. So like my car needed inspection is just like one of the worst times when you have an old car like that anyway, because you know they're going to get you. So like when I got inspection, when it was done, like my whole check went to my car, and I could not be down a car because I needed it for that job. So then in those times, if I get my car inspected at the beginning of the month, dude, I don't get paid for a month. So in those times, you know, 30, 50, $100 was a big deal for me to get, and that's what happened. And that would actually get me from one pay period to the next a lot of the time. So I do remember that. Now, fortunately for me, when I had left my jobs, I had already felt comfortable enough as far as what I was bringing in from YouTube to know that like I had enough to take care of everything, and I still had some savings and stuff like that. So I've not had that problem since I left. Now some people they leave a little bit soon, but I've not had the like the $100 makes a difference kind of thing in some years. So it's not really a big deal. And I never like look at it like, hey, I need to make this amount of videos. Like literally, I'm just doing what I've been doing since I was a kid, and I don't worry about all the money stuff because it seems to take care of itself, and I haven't had any problems. I don't want to stress about it, so I don't like plan out that I need. You know, if I don't play these amount of games, I just play the games on the time, and you know, and it just works out honestly.
I was having a conversation with one of my friends earlier this morning, and I was listening to a podcast, and they were saying, you know, people that have 2 subscribers on YouTube or have hundreds of listeners on a podcast and not millions like me need to bow down to us and say, screw your stuff and let us do it. And I'm sitting there like, are you kidding me? And my friend was like, I'm on his side because he's talking about a certain person. I'm like, hang on a second. We're in the entertainment industry. No matter if you're YouTube, whatever, there's going to be competition everywhere you look. I mean, entertainment business in general is a competing genre. I mean, you're not going to, you know, you're probably going to look at somebody, I'm not saying you do, but you could look at somebody and be like, okay, I want to get to his 3 million subscriber standards instead of, instead of my
Right,
300,000.
right.
You do. I do the same thing because, like you, I'm making like $150 a month doing the
Yeah,
podcast, which last year I was making zero. It
right.
was like, where am I at now versus, because this guy was a celebrity in his own terms, and he was just like, look, I'm making all this, and I'm like, but you had a name when you started your show.
Right.
I don't have a name. You didn't have a name when you started. So what does it matter where that leads? Because obviously the people that have to grind it out are going to be more thankful that prick over there talking about it. It just pissed me off to a point where I was like, I can't take this anymore. You know?
That's the internet for you, dude. I mean, I'm not saying
Yeah.
I'm anybody special, but like, I'm a pretty regular dude, bro. Like, the internet is filled with a bunch of weirdos. A lot of people who they get to like relive the high school they never had and all that, and they really believe what the people in the comments tell them about how they're the greatest and all of that stuff, and they sleep on that. It makes them feel good at night. I don't really worry about it. They always say like people need to stop doing that because you know, if YouTube terminates somebody's channel, you're gonna be right next to the people you was talking about. So like it is that simple. So people need to keep
Yeah.
that in mind when they get all like, oh, I'm this and I'm that, and I have this many followers on Instagram. Like, who fucking cares? Because you see people, they get terminated, and then you have to start all over, and all the people you seen on the way up are now sitting next to you, and then you're probably going to need help from those people, which is why I don't I don't do that. I just be chilling, man.
I use the phrase or the quote like, I would much rather be Oprah Winfrey than the Queen of England because Oprah knows what it's like to be broke. So, not saying she's going to let it go to her head, but she's probably smart enough to know, oh, if I let this go to my head, then I'm going to be back dirt poor Mississippi. But the Queen of England, she can't live, you know what I mean? She grew up in royalty. She can't live down here where we're at. She can't live poor like a lot of us had to.
That's a fact. It's that simple. It's like I just rules. People might not really agree with this, but I always say like when it comes to like you get you a woman, it's easier. Like the women who weren't really pretty when they were younger but become pretty are a lot easier to deal with because they know what it was like. They know how they
Yeah.
got treated when they weren't pretty like that, so they're nicer to people. It's easier to deal with them than the woman who's been pretty her whole life and who's been getting special treatment because she doesn't really know what it's like for other people. It's the same thing. So I'd rather deal with the
It's like fat.
person, huh? Go ahead, go ahead.
I said it's like fat. I was like, it's like fat people. I'm fat, but
Yeah,
but it's like I'm losing weight now, so it's like it's not like when I get older and I'm no longer fat anymore, I'm not going to look at a fat person and be like,
Exactly.
that guy needs to watch it, because it's the same thing. It's the same thing. Because
Same
I've
thing.
been in that boat. I've been the fat guy.
Hey, you know what's funny? Cigarette smokers do that. Dude, there's people
They
who
do.
smoke
They do.
cigarettes and then they get off cigarettes and they immediately realize once they're like done with the cigarettes how it smells to other people. And they immediately like become like judgmental of other cigarette smokers because they're not smokers anymore. So you know you smoked cigarettes for a long time. So it's the same thing, pretty much.
It's the same thing to alcoholics or you know, people that are addicted to drugs. It's the same thing. Once they get off of it, they realize, oh wow, that's what people that sat next to me had to deal with.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah, so it's all the same thing. So I feel you on that, man.
Well, let's get back to this PlayStation talk, man. My fan is as loud as yours. Is that for everybody, or is it just like a default in the system? Do you know?
Do you have
I honestly don't know.
Pro?
I've never.
You got a Pro?
I do. I do.
It's the Pro, man. I swear, okay? I like PlayStation. I love PlayStation, but the PlayStation Pro is the worst console that I've ever purchased. I don't know how this is a mid-gen console. The fan is so loud. And not only that, I don't know if this has happened to you. First of all, you get a PlayStation Pro because you can turn on boost mode. You can turn on super sampling and all the other the nerdy stuff we get into, right? However,
no, not me. Let's be honest. Walmart didn't
yours?
have the regular PlayStation, so all I had to do was because Walmart didn't have a regular PlayStation.
Yeah, okay.
Look, I'm not a gamer, dude. I just play games to relieve, and I probably played 2 games this year. I'm not a gaming nerd, but I just like to play sometimes. You know?
All right, got you. All right, so my girl bought me a PlayStation Pro for Christmas. I ended up giving her my OG PlayStation 4. Dude, it's terrible. Like I've played NBA 2K19, and when I get into the rec center to play with my friends, I get a message: PS4 is too hot, and it turns itself off. I've gotten that message. If I play Modern Warfare, I literally sound like I'm in an airplane. It's just the PlayStation Pro. People are gonna say, "Well, you can clean it." I've cleaned it. I've opened it. I have compressed air. It is the PlayStation Pro itself. I don't know what it is with the heat sink and all of that. It's terrible, dude.
And then you'll have your headphones in plugged into the controller, and you'll still hear coming from the PlayStation. You're like, through my headphones. I'm like, what is going on here?
Yeah, man, it's bad. I've never owned a console that was like that. The PS3, like I said, the OG PS4, the Slim, PS4 Pro's a no-go. And then I have to turn off all the options that make the Pro the Pro. So it's like I'm not even getting the benefits of having a Pro. Like I replaced the hard drive in here and put an SSD in there. I did all that stuff, and it still does it. So I just it is what it is. I'll be happy come like November or whenever I get a new one.
Since you're getting ready to play the new Avengers game, I'm going to give you a very, very clear warning here for somebody that's almost done with it. It auto-saves, but the auto-save on it is so crappy that, let's say your PlayStation fails or the game fails, it's going to put you back 3-4 checkpoints from where you are currently at.
Oh, is it manual? Can I manually save?
Nope.
Oh my God.
It's auto-save. And those are the worst. Those are the worst because you can't save when you want to. Like, if I'm in the middle of a battle, I would like to save it there in case I have to get up or go do something. I will continue that battle when I get back. But it's like, nope, you're going back to the helicopter, and you're gonna have to redo everything back over. And I'm like, oh my God, are you kidding me?
Oh my! And I got it on PC.
Okay, well, it may be different on PC. I don't know.
It won't be. No, what I've learned? I've learned that if a game is buggy on Xbox or PlayStation, it's probably buggy on PC. Like it's just what it is.
Well, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this about the PC game. How do you say, okay, I want to play this one on PlayStation versus play it on Xbox or PC? How do you differ between the three?
How it basically comes down to how convenient is it. So, NBA 2K, Call of Duty, Apex Legends, all stuff like that I would play with my friends, I usually get on console. So it's either I'll get it only on console or I'll get it on PC and console. But all the single player stuff that's not exclusives, I get on PC. It's easier to record. It's just all around easier. And then there's, you have better graphic options and all of that stuff. There are occasions where I wish I didn't get the PC version of the game. Like Batman Arkham Knight was so bad on PC that they took the game off of Steam and refunded people. It was a disaster. That has happened a few times, but generally, yeah, this single player PC is probably the place I like to play it. Generally.
But the good thing about buying all these games, you said you buy it on PlayStation, then you buy it on console or wherever. Those are easy tax write-offs. Like it's very like I do movie reviews on here, so if I like go to the theater, which I haven't been in a long time, there's easily, hey, give it to my tax guy, here you go, write it off, and basically get it back. But I was talking about quarantine. I was hearing from, I think Dr. Fauci may have said it, but he was talking about how we're going to be in the same boat that we're in next year at this time. So like September 8th, 2021, we're still going to be in masks. We're still going to be, you know what I mean? It's just one of those things where it's just like, why can't you understand people? And I don't want to get on here and be political because that's not what I'm about. Right. But it's like, you need to realize between your self-awareness and self-ego of they're taking away my freedom and just be like, okay, look, how are they taking away your freedom? Because they're actually keeping your freedom here. Because what if this thing never goes away? You're going to be held in a pod somewhere, designated hours to go out. You're talking about being free now. Just wait till then, people saying it.
Yeah, those people are ridiculous. It's like, again, we brought up cigarette smokers. There's a reason that most places are no smoking. Like, this is very simple as I'm sure a lot of people don't want the person, sitting next to the table where they're eating, smoking, and have to deal with all of that stuff. I mean, the mask thing, it's personal freedoms. And how much freedom do people think they actually have to begin with? Not only that, people think it's fake. Just because you don't know somebody that has it doesn't mean it's fake. My sister got COVID 2 months ago. No, it was right around Father's Day. So that was mid-June. Okay. She got COVID. I was so scared because, look, here's the thing. Because of COVID, I hadn't seen my sister, my mom, or really very much of anybody as far as in person for months and months to start the year. And then COVID happened and I hadn't seen them. So I finally went, to see my sister, my mom, and all of that stuff. So, we hung out. My sister came to my house for a little bit. Everything was cool. 2 days later, she says, yo, I cannot taste or smell anything. And she was just at my house. So she's like, you might want to get tested. I'm like, oh my goodness. So she was like, she said it was crazy because she knew a couple people that had it. She had some friends from like in Philly and stuff like that. So she knew, obviously she knew some of the symptoms, but she knew that there was something wrong. And she said she said the night before she was fine. The next day she got up, she tried the most like strong thing, apple cider vinegar. She said she could not taste or smell that. So,
oh my God.
Yeah, so I took her in to get a COVID test. 2 days later, they sent her a message. She definitely had it. She's fine now. But she just came over here maybe last week, and she comes in. She got her mask on. We all sitting in the living room talking with mask on and all that. It's just pretty. It's very simple at this point. But she said, like, what people don't understand is even after you are no longer like you don't have COVID anymore, you still are fatigued, and that stuff could go on for like weeks or months after. Like, knowing all of that stuff, man, just put the damn mask on. People have their freedoms, kind of impeded on all the time. Some shit you just got to deal with. It might be an inconvenience, but just protect. If not for you, I'm more concerned with getting my grandmother sick. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or little babies. Like, that's who it's about. It's not about me. You don't put a mask on for you. Put it on for other people. Simple.
Yeah, it's fun. I say it's funny, but it's not funny in a ha-ha sense. My family down here, they think, man, this Corona is fake. Like, we're Mississippi, so we're all about pride and rebel flags and get that. I'm like, get that shit out of here, get it out of here. And it's like, uh-oh, here we go. They were over at my house for my sister's 17th birthday party, 16th, something like that. And this was August. Yeah, like the 8th of August, 9th of August. 3 or 4 days later, my aunt that was just at my house sat in my chair where I play my game, got diagnosed with Corona. They think it's fake. So now she's in the hospital, not now, but at the time, she's in the hospital on breathing machines. They got her sedated. They got tubes down her throat. Her whole family has it. And now they get up, they're like, now you really got to wear your mask because it's real. And it's like, how stupid do people have to be to realize that this stuff is, just because we don't know, like, it's just a flu. No, it's not a flu.
It's not the flu.
We don't know what this is. So we're treating it like they're like, it's just a sickness. Yeah, but they did the same thing with this when it was like the Black Plague and stuff, you have to take precautions because we don't know what none of this is,
Well,
and it's like, before Christmas, I got sick with pneumonia. And I remember I was on death's door, dude. I was feeling like 105-degree fever. I was like, this is rough. If the Corona is anything like that, I don't want that at all. Get that away from me.
It's very simple. I'd rather not. Even if it wasn't fatal, I still don't want to be like sat down. I don't want to be in my bed for 2 weeks. Nobody, you know what I mean? Nobody wants to deal with that. I don't know. In our lifetime, I don't know why people think that they would set this up so that rich people lose millions of dollars just to set up this big thing. There's been so much business loss. There's been so many small businesses that have closed and all of that. I don't know in what world a whole bunch of rich people would orchestrate ways to lose billions of dollars and possibly have a lot of people who never recover. When rich people like to make money. I don't know how that happens, but whatever.
Yeah.
We deal with certain types of people. Some people think some tragedies like the Holocaust or other things are fake as well. So I don't. You know what? In the last 7 years, man, I don't expect much from people, to be honest with you, after some of the stuff I've seen over the last 7 years. So, not a surprise.
Yeah. No, I wasn't trying to. When I was mentioning like the rebel flag, I wasn't trying to freak you out. But here's something on a positive note. Mississippi we finally changed our flag. The rebel is no longer anywhere. Man, let me tell you, here in my little hometown, there's probably 400 people.
Okay.
I was the only white guy that was there for the flag taking down. Do you know how much hate I got? People were like, don't listen to the podcast. Don't listen to this because this guy's for everything. And I'm like, what are we doing here, man?
What? Hey.
I was like, oh.
You're a bold guy then. You know what I'm saying? Good for you.
Man, look, I'm not going to hate on somebody just because I don't agree with their standards. You know what I mean? It's like, if you're my friend and you become my enemy, you're not my enemy per se. I still want to see you put food on the table. I still want to see you bring in money for your family. I don't want to see you die and then I live longer and then piss on your grave. I don't want to do that.
Right.
Right. It's a strange world we're living in, but I'm glad that I'm here to see it so I can live through it and stay healthy enough where I can tell future generations about, well, look, back to 2020, here's what went down. It's But man, tell me, where did the name xChaseMoney come from? Where did that come from?
So back in the day, I used to make beats and sell beats. This was like way back in the day. So there was this rapper that I'm still tight with. He kind of came up with the whole thing. So I just used that. It was really just a username. And then I actually started my YouTube channel originally. If you go back, like my first couple videos just had like instrumentals on them. I had no intention on talking and being on video. It's just something I ended up doing, and then now I'm stuck. But that's where I came from. That's where it comes from.
So is Chase your your real name, or is that just a made up
My
name?
real name
Nope,
is
just made up.
Kevin. Yes.
Kevin.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I
No,
accidentally
no,
gave that up one day on video. It's
I
like,
know.
do you know what you said you know? What you remember what video?
I, I re- man, I don't. But I remember you. I don't remember what. No, I don't. I don't remember
Okay.
what game it was, but I can remember you went, Kevin, like that, and it was just
Oh,
the shock
yep.
on your face. You're like, uh-oh, what are
Yep.
you?
I was playing 50 Cent. It was
Okay.
Blood on the Sand. It was one of the two 50 Cent games that I was playing. This was like 2013 or something. 14. It was like way long ago.
Long time.
And yeah, my girl was like trolling me upstairs. So I did that. Then I said, damn it. And so I look in the comment section. Like, who's Kevin? I said, God damn it. It's over now. So yeah, that's pretty funny.
Well, I was looking at some of your comments, and because I wanted to know what people were asking or what
Mm.
people were saying. Most of them were positive for what I could see, but I don't remember what video I was watching. Or I'll tell you to go back and look. But they were asking where some of your catchphrases had come from, and I was like, catchphrases. And so I was messaging with this one guy, and they were like, yeah, where he goes, guys, or when he
Yeah.
goes, or just stuff like that. And it was like, how did those come about? You just said it one day and it just took off from there.
Yeah, well, so me and my friends, we're like real silly. So we just like say stuff. I don't know. A lot of that stuff comes from something that happened before and it was serious. And we just start like, if somebody says something a certain way, literally the guy's thing, I think we were in a PlayStation party on PS3 and the one dude, he couldn't hear anybody but me. So he was trying to talk to everybody and he's like, guys. So we just start teasing them. And literally I just start saying that stuff on the videos. All that stuff is literally, there's like stories for like every one of those things. So like not any of that stuff is not, most of that stuff is not something I just like made up. There's always like funny stories for it.
How do you control? I'm gonna call YouTube and what we're doing business. How do you control your business time between your family time? Because you said like you sometimes play from like 10 o'clock in the morning to like 6 o'clock in the afternoon. How do you get between doing the business and the family? Because I don't have that busy of a schedule. I think my schedule is busy because I'm busy for like 9-10 hours a day, but I don't do what you do and edit videos together. So how does that work?
All right, so I'm trying to come up with a better system anyway. I personally, because I edit all my own videos, like I have to really be in like grind mode to want to sit and edit a video, which is why sometimes it takes so long for me to actually put an edited video out. But what I've learned about myself is I'm willing to do stuff that I really don't want to do in the morning. So what that means is like working out. Like I like how I feel after workouts and all the benefits, but I like running 30 down minutes down a steep hill for 3 miles and back up? Not really. So, but stuff like that, I'll do in the morning. So when it comes to video editing, what I need to do is make sure I split my time, which means, so boom, if I start my work day at 10 or 9 or 10, whenever, then I edit until like noon. And then I say, okay, I eat something, and then from maybe like 1 to 4, then I record whatever. And then when 5 o'clock hit, either I hop on with my friends, or if my lady's home, I might play something with her. But generally with her, she knows like it gets pretty busy. She works too. Like she went to work. She had to leave for work earlier. Some days I just work till she comes home. Other days she'll say, hey, because she's busy too. I have my D&D game at 8 o'clock today, or I have a Zoom, or I'm going roller skating. Like she does that kind of stuff. So, we both kind of get really busy. The best thing to do is to say, hey, like yesterday, like let's have a movie morning. So we you know what I mean? Like just to plan those days out ahead so you know what I mean? So because when you're dealing with two busy people, what can happen is you can go a week and a half or 2 weeks without really like hanging out and doing something with your lady or whoever you spend your time with. You could, a lot of time can pass if you don't plan it out accordingly. So I advise that you get up and plan your day out literally. Hey, I'm gonna edit from this time to this time, record from this time to this time, and then just space it out like that. And you got to plan. I'd say on Sundays. For people looking to figure out how they're going to do their schedule, Sunday, you figure out how your week's going to go. And boom, there you go. It's all about planning.
Is it bad that I don't really watch TV anymore? I mostly watch YouTube videos.
Nope, that's a lot. Yo, a lot of the people who watch YouTube, that's really their primary entertainment. A lot of people that watch Twitch, that's their primary entertainment. Like, dude, that's what I'm saying. If not for like the nighttime, so what we usually do, we'll get ready for bed, and we try to get ready for bed a little, not early, but so that we have enough time to watch like a little bit of a TV show or a little bit of a movie. That's how I get my movie time in, or my TV time. Because if not for that, I won't really watch too much TV. So like I ended up watching a bunch of shows like years later because I didn't watch them when they were out. But yeah, a lot of people do that. It's common.
What is interesting to me, do you ever watch like the Maury shows? Do you ever watch those? Like I watch clips on YouTube.
Yeah.
Do you think those fake? Like the Steve Wilkos, the do you think any of that is fake?
You know, well, probably they're probably dramatized. I don't know about Steve Wilkos. I do think a lot of Maury stuff is real. As far as the paternity stuff, yeah. I used to watch that stuff all the time. I used to, like, back in the day before like YouTube and all of that, I'd watch, especially in the mornings, I'd watch like Judge Judy and I would watch some of those shows. I don't really watch that stuff too much, but I will catch some of those clips on YouTube.
Yeah.
You know, they'll get you with a real nice clickbait. You know what I mean? I won't even be watching any of that stuff, and YouTube will just take me to it or whatever. Some of that stuff is fake, man. It gotta be. But then there's like, I've heard about like cases that have happened where like people have been killed after getting on those shows, and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's kind of like Judge Judy. Like, I don't know if you know the story behind Judge Judy, but like all those cases that she's doing are fake.
What?
Like they have either already been resolved or not meaningful enough to go to court. Same thing with Dr. Mathis or Judge Mathis or
Yeah.
whoever.
So what's the point of this? I mean, obviously I know what the point of the show is, but
Entertainment.
so the people that are in, are they like just paid actors or something? Or they just like, how does that work?
Now, I've seen two different stories on this. So one said that these people have pending cases, but they will go to Judge Judy for a free whatever. They'll have free, and they just won't get paid anything, and they just get paid for being on the show. But then I've seen others where people have made up stories and lawsuits, and they're actually best friends to actually get on the show. And it's like that Sex Sent Me to the ER thing. I know someone that has made up a story and been on Sex Sent Me to the ER. 100% fact.
Well, that makes sense. Wow. I thought I did see something about, I thought it was the divorce court though, where it was some of that stuff was fake or whatever, or all of it.
I'm pretty sure some of that is too, honestly.
Dang. People blame reality TV for all the all the stupid people. This has been on before that. Wow. Okay. I didn't know that. I don't really watch that stuff too much anyway. Some of it's definitely funny though.
I just rolled up on it on this morning, so that's why I brought it up, because it's fresh in my mind. I was like, well, I don't realize how that's so fake, but then I realized, wow, once you realize that it's fake, you kind of can't unsee the fake. You know, like,
oh yeah.
For me, it's like wrestling. Like, I'm a big wrestling nerd, man, like giant. And I remember the first time I saw someone slap their thigh when they hit them in the face, and I was like, oh my God, now you can't unsee the fake. I don't say fake because I don't think it's fake, honestly, but
it's scripted.
Predetermined. There you go. Predetermined.
The wrestling is real. They be in there getting messed up, man. It's pretty serious. Ooh. So, all right. So, look, real quick. Yeah. Question. Because you said the last question, you said it was trash.
I was actually fixing to go back to that. That was my next point. I was fixing to go back.
Okay. So, let me ask you. Why do you say it's trash?
Okay. Maybe trash was too harsh of a word. I enjoyed the game.
We're going to rock with trash. Go ahead, man. Stand on it. Go ahead.
It's trash. All right. Fine. I think the way to kill Joel off was kind of, and I'm going to use this word, don't mean it, but was kind of retarded, honestly. Um, I don't think if they should have killed him, they should have waited to the end of it, and that'd be like a cliffhanger, or he not be in the game at all, and he died years before, and she's trying to something like that. And I also thought the ending was just so you're gonna beat her up, you're gonna hunt her down to kill her, and you let her go. What are we doing here? And I didn't like going back and forth between the two females. I didn't care for that at all.
Okay. Okay.
I don't know if those points are fair, but
no, they are, because I agree with those points. I was so salty playing that game because first of all, you build a bond with the character for an entire game, and then you have him do something uncharacteristic to get him killed within the first hour and a half of the game. It's bad writing. I don't know what that was, and I'm gonna tell you something about the story that they were going to do that they didn't do in a second. So that was already, because I was saying this on the podcast, every game is weighted differently, right? Like some games, the gameplay is a strong suit. So if you look at a Dark Souls, Sekiro, any of those games, the story is not the strong suit. So like, I don't know how many people actually care about the story because it's about gameplay. So you will weight gameplay higher. The Last of Us, the narrative on the first game was the strong suit. The gameplay was fun, but it's not really intricate. You know what I mean? It's more about the character development. So when it's bad, then that means people are going to say the game is bad. So they the way they killed Joel, I'm Joel Miller. What? Like, I remember on the first game, there's a scene where you and Ellie are driving, and there's this guy who's like walking across the damn road, and he's like favoring his stomach, and Ellie's like, we have to help him. Joel's like, hell no, and just boom, and then there's that whole thing. Or even at the very beginning of the game, when Joel's daughter Sarah, when it's first happened, they're driving and there's a family that needed help. Joel's like, hell no. I don't know how you go. Nobody would survive as many years as Joel and Tommy if they would freely give their names up to strangers. So I just thought that was bad writing. The other thing, the ending was absolute shit. Bit the girl's fingers off, and then they played the guitar. I was like, yo, y'all gonna play a guitar. It was really ridiculous, and I did not like the idea of Ellie holding her knife to a child's throat. That did not seem like that was her character.
yeah.
The one thing that I really felt was a missed opportunity, though, was the fight between Joel and Ellie. They should have made you use both characters. They should, like, you use
Right.
what's it called? What's this? Goddamn, how do I forget the girl's name? What's the other girl's name?
Ellie.
Ellie, the other one. How the hell it doesn't matter. Anyway, you use Ellie for a little bit.
I'll look it up real quick.
Okay. You use Ellie in the fight, and then it pans over and you use the other character. I felt like that could have been some cinematic stuff, because I damn sure didn't want to use starts with an A, right?
Abby.
Yeah, thank you. So, like, I didn't want to be Abby for the whole fight. I didn't want to be Abby at all. Her story was good, but it was long and drawn out. But the beginning was bad, the ending was bad, and it was really,
the middle part was bad.
A letdown.
It was all bad.
Yeah. So, and then here's the other thing. I'm not one of these guys. I love playing as whoever. Female characters. Some people are weird. I don't like female characters. You're a weirdo. Here's the thing. Every prominent male figure was either a simp, got the ass whooped, or killed. All of them. Tommy, I don't even know how he survived that. Joel killed. Jesse knocked up the one lady, the one shorty, and then he gets shot in the head. The guy, Isaac, who ran...
That one was what actually shocked me, was when Jesse just all of a sudden died. That was the shock of the game for me, and that happened maybe 3 or 4 hours into the game.
Yeah. So, and then Isaac, who ran Abby's camp, he got killed.
Yeah.
All the guys get killed, or they're like pretty useless at the end. And here's the other thing that I did not like. They lied to us in those trailers. I don't know if you know this.
They did.
Yeah, so there's scenes in the trailer where Joel is there. They deliberately like there was a scene where Ellie gets her mouth covered. She turns around and it's Joel on the trailer, and he says, "Kid, I can't let you go alone." That's actually Jesse in the full game because Joel's already dead. So they did that to us. And lastly, this is what really, really, I still love the gameplay though. The game, the story was ass, but the gameplay was really good. Except for the dogs, damn the dogs. I shot them as soon as I seen them. I wouldn't even try to go stealthy with them. Here's the thing. I read their original thing that they wanted to do was to have Abby join the camp and betray Joel. And that's how he would get. I said that's already better than the whole story now. Why didn't they just do that?
Yeah.
Anyway, that game.
I have
it hurt me.
I've got 3 points to your one big point.
I got it.
People go, they didn't have enough time to do it. They had, 10 years? They had like 10 years to do it.
7.
So that's kind of out the window. The game to me was kind of, and I use this very loosely, was kind of like the game Days Gone. I don't know if you played that. You did play that, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
I did too, but I was so excited for the game just because it looked great, and it turned out being terrible. But I actually thought in what was going to happen in The Last of Us 2 was Abby was going to join forces with Ellie at the very end. For some reason, I thought that was what was going to happen, and it was going to lead off to part 3. But I don't really care if there's a part 3 anymore. I don't really want to play that after how 2 treated us. So,
yeah.
And about the trailer, Marvel does that to us all the time. I'm a big Marvel nerd, Marvel head, so they do that all the time. So it wasn't a big surprise, but it was shocking to see a game do that. Because I don't think a game's ever done that, honestly.
Yeah. I'm sure somebody could find, examples of that, probably from Ubisoft. But yeah, that was so deliberate when they did that. But outside of the disappointing beginning, middle, and end of the story, the gameplay was fun. I also thought the game was too long, and I hate to say that because obviously if you spend $60, you want to get the most bang for your buck as far as hours played. So I'm not saying as far as hours. I just mean for story purposes, that game was twice as long as the original. If it wasn't as long, they probably could have did a better job with the story. But dude, it was like 25 hours of like linear gameplay, which I don't mind. With all these open world games, dude, I really get excited when I can play a linear game and just play it and just get off instead of collecting 1,000 knickknacks. You know what I mean? They made us do that on Arkham Knight to get the real ending. You had to do all the Joker riddles. I'm over that. Unless the game is like the Ghost of Tsushima, they did a great job with that one. And the last 2 Assassin's Creed did a really good job. But outside of those games, there's a lot of open world games are just ass. They shouldn't be open world.
Yeah, and I bring the Avengers up because that's the game I'm currently playing. But I think the gameplay is like 10 or 11 hours, and it's not that long. But once you get into the game, you're going to realize, wow, when is this thing going in? Because to me, they drag it because you're not basically playing as the Avengers. You're playing as this girl who turns out to be Miss Marvel. So you're not really playing as, which it's very interesting because you do get to wind up playing them, but you basically have to. This is not spoiling it because it was how the game was called, and it was. She goes to this thing called A-Day, and a big explosion happens, and it puts all these people and gives them all superpowers. This lady who names herself Miss Marvel does all this stuff, and she apparently has to get the Avengers back because the Avengers are now banned from the Earth to come back together. Okay. So she's basically the whole game getting them back together, and you're playing as Hulk here, Iron Man here. You're trying to find the Avengers because they're off doing their own type of thing, kind of like Infinity War. Okay,
that sounds cool, actually.
It is cool, but here's the thing: I do not like playing with Iron Man. I can't fly and shoot at the same time. I'm a master at a 2-button game, but give me a 12-button game, and I'm going to be terrible the whole time.
Well, I shouldn't be flying things anyway. That's like a running joke on my channel. Ever since like 2013, I have no business flying players and planes and grenades. I don't know what it is about rockets and grenades. I blow myself up and I crash constantly. I used Iron Man in the demo. It was fun, but we played on like very hard on some of the missions. I was getting two hit, so I was like, I got to get out of here.
Let me tell you something. I'm the person that's going to play every game I play on easy. Dude, I've died like 15 times on easy.
Well, good for you. Hey, cause we on the internet. The internet swears that things are a certain way and it's not. But people get so wrapped up in the internet that it starts to become like real as far as like how things really are. For example, like there's like a community that thinks you should only play video games on hard. Now I play on hard just for entertainment because people like watching it. But being a casual playing on normal easy is probably the most fun way to play a game. Most people, some people like a challenge. But most people, you work 40, 50, 60-hour work weeks. Last thing they want to do is come home and keep getting killed by a boss on a video game. Like, so those people play on normal easy, man. I don't have time for my girl's one of those people. She likes a little bit of a challenge, but if it gets too hard, she will not play the game. A lot of people are like that. You don't have to play on hard, but on the internet, they'll tell you no guides. When we was coming up, strategy guides was the move. You get a new game, you get the $15 strategy guide if you had money for it. Get no guides. No, they're like, man, get out of here with that, man.
Back in the day with cheat codes, you didn't have to play the game at all. You go ahead and just put it all down. I beat the game, ladies and gentlemen. I beat the game and I got it.
Well, they don't have those anymore. Now you can pay for shit.
That's stupid. Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Hey, yo, these corporations, they say stuff that's like, it works. I guess it works for some people, but like I always say, like they create a problem that didn't exist for us and to sell us a solution. For example, like Ubisoft. I like Ubisoft. Like they send me games and stuff, but like they'll say stuff, and it's like that's really not that way. For example, what's the last Assassin's Creed game you played?
I've never played an Assassin's Creed game.
All right. So there was a drastic gameplay change from the old ones, and then the change happened in Origins, and I think that came out in 2017. Anyway, what they did was on Odyssey, the last one in 2018, the level up system was so slow that then they were selling time savers are right, where you could go and you could buy double XP and all that. And then they said to people, we're doing this because we want to give freedom to the player. You want to give freedom to the player, you would just have cheat codes like we used to get, and you would let people put them in. You wouldn't sell me a time saver. That's ridiculous. So anyway, it's notorious for the industry is notorious for that stuff. Now, battle passes are everywhere. I heard my guy told me that every character on the Avengers has its own battle pass or something like that. Is that accurate?
Oh my God! Yes, it's what do they call it? They call it a hero something. And to get all of the power-ups, et cetera, you have to go through like 15 levels for one character to get everything. And I'm like, I don't have time for that. I'm just not going to get all the power-ups. I'm just going to play the story from beginning to end. A little extra bonus levels here and there. Nothing else. I don't have time to play. Let's see, you got 6, 7 Avengers. That's 15 games apiece. You're playing over 100 levels plus the campaign gameplay.
Oh my Lord!
No way.
Come on, man. Time savers. Battle Pass has ruined the game, by the way.
Bad. I'm going to do a few more questions here because
Sure.
I'm going to be very lenient of your time here. I know we said 60 to 90 minutes, but
yeah, when we go off air, I'm gonna ask you a couple things about how you do your show. I might
sure.
Good.
Sure. No, but what are a couple of games that or a series of games that everybody was like, this is the best game in the world, and then you were like, this game is terrible? Because to me, I do not like the Kingdom Hearts games. I think they are terrible stories. Even though you get to play with the Disney, those are the kind of games you have to figure out, and I don't like that. I like where it has which I know you have like a guided trail on there, but those games to me, because I played the first one back when it first came out, and I said, "F this, I'm done," and gave it up. I wasn't doing it.
Okay.
But I've seen you play like the Kingdom Hearts 3, and you're just going through, "This is the best game ever," and you're going through and you're just doing it. And I'm like, there's no way I could feel that excited about a certain game, I should say.
So, well, Kingdom Hearts 3 is the worst one out of the three. So there's that.
Okay.
I also don't know what the hell's going on the story, dude. I've never seen a video game with such a big fan base where they take imagine, I don't know, God of War. You like God of War?
Sure.
All right, so
Yeah,
let's
I
say
played the first two.
okay. So let's say we took God of War, very beloved franchise. Let's say we take that game and then we bring out like 4 mobile versions. We bring out like a card game. We do all this stuff. And I put important plot points and new characters on the phone game that most people are not going to play. That's what Kingdom Hearts did. So by the time, because I've only played the console games. 1, 2, 3. That's it. By the time I got to 3, dude, there were so many characters in like storylines on. I had no idea what was going on. I didn't know who some of these people were. And these are like prominent people. So I'm asking other people who play all the things, like, yo, who is this? He's like, yo, that was on the mobile version. I don't know why they did that. So that was just bad. I don't even know what's happening in the story.
Oh.
It was like,
So you have to be like a diehard fan to understand every single character, basically. You have to play every game that come out with mobile,
yes,
board game, whatever, to understand.
or read a wiki. Yes. And then like, there was like 3 Rikus. I was like, how is there 3 of one? It was a mess. I just like playing, well, really the first 2 games, like you had a reason to go to these other places. So I like being able to play as Tarzan or Simba or all of that stuff. So that was fun.
Right.
The gameplay was fun. The game was way too easy. But what is a game that everybody likes that it's just not my game? I don't want to say the game is ass. I cannot be bothered with it. You ready? Fallout. Dude, I don't know.
Let me tell you something.
What is it?
Hang
what is
on
it?
a second.
All right, go ahead.
I played Fallout 74. That is the hardest damn game I've ever played in my life. And I played on easy. And I could just be I'm not a gamer, but that was the hardest game. Because I usually, because you know how some games have 2 different endings. Sometimes I'll do one ending and then go back after I beat it and see how the other ending happened. I said, screw it. I'm going to join the team. I don't care what happens. Get me off the game. To me, they're terrible. I don't understand. I don't understand the points for any of them. Man, I agree. Fallout is terrible.
I don't want to even say that it's terrible. It's just like, what is this? Like, Bethesda, that Fallout engine is so old. I always joke about it. On Fallout and Skyrim or Fallout and Elder Scrolls, you can't climb ladders. Like you just go to the bottom of the ladder and then you're up at the top. The graphics are old and bad. The voice acting is so funny. It's bad. The mechanics are old. I don't know what the draw is. Maybe I haven't put enough hours into the game, but it's one of those few games where it's just like, I cannot play this. I tried. Me and my girl, I was like, you know what? Because what I usually do, because I play a lot more games than her, is I'll beat a game, and then like a year later, she'll be ready to play. So I'll replay the game with her for the first time. Well, Fallout, neither of us really played it like that. So I'm playing it, man. I just kept laughing, dude, because it was like the voice acting and stuff so bad. She's like, you know what? I'm going to play this by myself. Get off. So I just got off the game. I'll probably never play another Fallout again. I will. The Outer Worlds. That was made by a lot of the original Fallout people. A lot of people say that's what Fallout was supposed to be. So I might play that. But I'm not playing Fallout. And a little sad thing, the first time I ever played Red Dead Redemption, I love the game. But the first time I played it, I was like herding cattle and stuff. I said, yo, this game is garbage. Get me off this. And then I ended up playing it like 2 years later and I loved it. But that was one of the games I was like, I don't know why anybody likes this initially.
I've never played Red Dead Redemption. Don't really plan on. I know the story is not really Western, but I'm not really a Western type of guy. I say that, and then I watch Yellowstone, so it's like I'm kind of being a hypocrite a little bit. But Couple more questions here, and we'll get off here. What is? Did you ever? I think you played the Bad Boys game. I remember when that game first came out. How terrible is that game, dude? That game is garbage. It's rough, man.
It's one of the worst games I've ever played, dude. Like I didn't know. Like one of my friends had that game when we was in like high school. We was laughing at him. That game is trash, man. I only played it because the movie came out. That's something I'm about to start doing anyway. But unfortunately, the year I decide, hey, let's play a game when the movie's closed, is the year Corona comes out. And like, cause I never played the Ghostbusters 2009. It looks fantastic, even though it's old. Cause there's supposed to be that Ghostbusters.
Don't play it.
Why not? I heard it was great.
It's okay. The story is good. The gameplay is kind of iffy, but I guess you have to be a big Ghostbusters fan. I'm an okay Ghostbusters fan.
Yeah.
Like if they would come out like a legit Jurassic Park game, I would be on that. But go ahead. It was all right.
Okay.
Sorry I interrupted you.
No, you good. So there's that, but the Bad Boys game's garbage, man. It's mechanically garbage. I don't know who those voice actors were. That was I don't know. Some of my fans really like bad games though.
And I don't know whose face they used to make those characters, but it wasn't Will Smith nor Martin Lawrence.
Yeah, I don't know who that was. They was the comments on the first video so funny. One of them said he do like Tyrone Magnus. so yeah, that game is terrible. But there's some bad games I like. They're not good games, they're just fun. Like fun supersedes how good a game is for me. I've played some terrible games that were fun. I've played some good games that are not fun. I'd rather play the terrible.
But is it shocking to you when you play? Because it is to me when I watch your stuff. Because I don't really go back and play from the early 2000s unless they regenerated it or remastered it.
Right.
But it's shocking to me how like you can play like The Last of Us 2, and then the next one you're going to play is like The Bad Boys, and it's like so bad graphics. It's just like, okay, I don't know if I can watch this just because of the day of age we're in. So it's like, is there ever that mental?
No, the graphic thing, I only get irritated with graphics when it's like new games. It's like the game shouldn't look like this. When it's an old game, it doesn't really bother me too much. And then, I'm like using the emulator, and what's even more interesting is the emulator, I have graphic settings. The graphics are turned up. The games look a lot worse out of the box than they do on the videos. So yeah, it's never a problem. Like generally, sometimes it is.
Favorite game of all time?
Oh my lord, I can't. That's always the hardest question.
Okay, give me your top 5.
All right, look.
Is that hard too?
Yeah, look. All right, this is what I'll do. Because I have so many, I'll just think of the 5 that come to mind. Okay. The Metal Gear franchise until 5, because 5 is garbage, is one of my favorites. God of War series. GTA. I do like Final Fantasy. I'm trying to cover all angles. And I need to get some older. Maybe, I don't know. I really loved Donkey Kong 64. That's just in order for me to do a top list, it'd have to be 25. That's the only way I feel like I can get everything that I really like. Literally, that's a hard question.
Well, this last question is a 2-parter. Real quickly, what is the one question whenever you approach or people approach you and they ask you, what's the one question you get that you automatically know the answer to and or what the question will be?
Ooh. Really? Honestly, I mean, it's kind of an easy answer. But I can tell if I'm out and somebody like recognizes me, I can instantly tell. They're gonna say, "Hey, are you the guy from YouTube?" And yeah. Sometimes I'll mess with them. I'm like, "Who you talking about, man?" They're like, "There's this guy named xChaseMoney." I'm like, "No, I don't know that dude." They're like, "Man, you look just like him." Nah, I'm like, "Nah, it's me. I'm just playing with you." But that's about it. Like, yeah, that's really it. I can always tell because they'll be looking at me for a minute and they won't say anything, and then eventually they'll say something. So,
What's one question that you wish you would get that you never wind up getting?
oh, um, one question I wish I would get. Damn, that's a hard question. How would you answer that? I don't even know how to answer that.
Well, it would kind of be like okay. I had a couple of guys on here. Like I had a rapper named Smo. I don't know if you know who that guy is.
I do.
Um, okay, I had him on a couple of times, but the first time I had him on, I asked him this question, and he goes, "Well, I don't have a question, but I have a subject of what I'd love talking about that nobody asked me, and it was movies." And we really went on this 45-minute rant just about movies and great movies, just something that no one cares to talk about with you because they want to talk about the big important parts of your life.
Oh, I like that. I like that. If I did that, honestly, probably I don't know. I like to talk about like health stuff, like diet, um, just like fitness and just kind of like like progression and like growth and how people have grown and stuff like that, or even people have like these routines that they do, or stuff like that. I like to talk. See, me and my friends talk about that stuff all the time. Like we'll be like live streaming, we'll be playing a game, and we'll be talking about like credit recovery, or like getting credit established for like young adults. We be talking about all kinds of stuff, dude. So yeah, I I like to talk about that kind of stuff.
Well, man, look, I can talk about health a little bit with you. I don't know a lot because growing up, I grew up in a bigger, heavy-set family, so we weren't really. It was, we're gonna eat your peas, but you're gonna eat with cornbread and chicken and dumplings over here. That's the only
Yeah.
kind of vegetable you're gonna get.
Mm.
So I kind of started doing this yoga, and I talk about this way too much, but it's what's been going on in my life recently. I've been doing DDP yoga, and there was this health plan that he was like, okay, for breakfast you're supposed to have this on day one, and then you go weeks. Well, I realized that one, I don't have a lot of that stuff here in Mississippi. A lot of that's in like California and all those city-based places. And two, it's very expensive. So what I did was I took the meal plans and I made them to what I had available in my area and what I would be able to afford. And so like instead of like I didn't realize that there were good carbs and bad carbs. I
Yeah.
thought carbs
Yeah.
were just carbs in general, and there's good sugars and bad sugars. I thought there was just sugars.
Hmm.
It's just a lot of stuff that I didn't realize um, that is involved in health. I figured you just eat healthy. You don't have to eat that brownie. You can over here eat these carrot sticks. But then
Mm.
there's a lot more to it. And how I did it was I took, and I'm not trying to take your spotlight
No,
while I'm talking
you
a lot,
good. No,
but
no, no, no. Go ahead.
I I just my family and friends, they'll go, well, look, man, I'm just fixing to ditch everything. I'm going to go on this diet, and they will go on a diet, but they'll kick everything out at once, and they wind up 2, 3, 4 weeks later failing. And so I realized if you just kick some stuff out at different times, like okay, start with just drinking water, eat just a little bit healthier, drink a lot more water, kick all the sugar, caffeine out. Then once you get used to that, 2 weeks maybe cut back on the fried foods or cut back on the sweets, and then for 2 weeks just progress every 2 weeks or so. And I realized that is what has worked for me.
Yeah.
And so it's really just because you're going to learn. It doesn't matter if you're the smartest person in the world. You're going to know a lot more, learn a lot more stuff about health in general, just because there's a lot more new science coming out about health.
Right. Right. Yeah, man. That's great. That's the kind of stuff I like to hear. Because people ask me, like, a lot of my friends are, they're trying to lose weight and stuff like that. And I've always been on the slimmer side, but I work out and all of that kind of stuff. And I've been
Right.
I've been big for my size, but like that was deliberate because I was bulking, and then I ended up losing like 15 pounds in like 2 weeks. And it's like how? So like I know how to put on and lose weight pretty easily and stuff like that. But I learned this is all stuff that I didn't learn about until like 2011 about complex carbs or fast and slow digested carbs and all that kind of stuff. So all that stuff is interesting. I don't like diets. I don't like diets because a lot of people are too extreme, and it's not sustainable. Some of them are, right? But like you get results, right? Like keto, a lot of people are in love with it. It works, but like I know myself, I couldn't do a diet like that if I wanted to because
Right.
I'm going to quit, and it's going to probably be within the first 2 weeks, which is when you really need to be on it. So like I like your approach where like you kind of taper off, you take it slowly instead of just saying, hey, cold turkey, no, no sodas, no no carbs, no snacks. Like that's not like yeah. I like them, more so like macros and stuff like that, which are easier because then you can have that brownie and stuff if it fits within your macros and things of that nature. So I like that approach as well. Or carb cycling is cool too because you could have carbs every like 3 days, 4 days. So anyhow, I need to start doing yoga. I'm into it.
Man, look, you're going to hate it
I
starting
know.
out. But it took me. I loved it after the first 3 or 4 days. After the soreness leaves your body, because you're. It's like doing an adult version of dress twister. Like
Mm.
it's just moving your body in certain places, and it's just like you can't. But yeah, I enjoyed it after the first 3 or 4 days. It was kind of when it was like, okay, now I'm starting to enjoy it more. And but what really got me about the diet thing is I didn't realize you can't have certain carbs with other certain carbs. I don't know if that's how you look at it, but like that
That's
meal plan
true.
was like, you can't have this carb with this carb because those are going to counteract and turn bad into your system, and it's just like all this diet has went to waste for the day.
Yeah.
And there's a lot, like I can't, like for the people that like The Rock that's in like great health, it's like I can't imagine how stressful his life is because he has to think about everything that he's putting into his body, or Ryan Reynolds or whoever is a big jacked up guy.
Yeah.
But I also look at it as you said you could eat the brownie, sure, but would you much rather eat the brownie now and feel terrible in like an hour, or would you much rather eat 2 or 3 handfuls of grapes and then feel great all day long?
Grapes are my favorite. That's like that. Actually, grapes keep me from going crazy. You know what I'm saying? Because I
Well, you
love
like green grapes or purple grapes?
purple, red. Not I like red grapes. Now there's been some. I don't know if you've seen these grapes in the store anywhere. There's like cotton candy grapes, and there's
I see them in Sam's Club.
You never tried them?
Scared to death, Trump.
All right. Do you like your grapes sweet or like tart?
I like the green grapes. I don't know. I don't know if they're sweet
Okay,
or
so
tart. I like the
those are
green grapes.
okay. Those
So
are you sometimes are sweet. Those are usually more on the tart side. Cotton candy grapes. I mean, they're grapes, but they're sweet. They're good. And there's these grapes, these red ones called gumdrops. I have those are my favorite. If you see those in the store, just get a bag. Try them one day. I'm telling you, they're great. I don't really do green grapes too much, but I bring up the cotton candy grapes because sometimes when you see those ones, those are green. So yeah, red is the move. Red
so it
seeds.
so it's not really cotton candy flavored grapes. It's just like a sweeter grape,
No,
right?
no, it tastes like cotton candy. It's
Oh,
not as
okay.
strong, but no, they when they say cotton candy, they mean it. Yeah.
well, well, man, look, we've been going for over 90 minutes. I'm
Yes,
really
sir.
grateful for the time that you took out of your busy schedule because
No
I know how
problem.
busy you are. Man, go ahead. I took 90 minutes of your time. Go ahead and take as long as you want to promote anything, your social media, whatever you want to promote, put out there. You go ahead and do it.
I, every time somebody does this to me, I swear to God, I have the worst intro and outro because I don't have one. I don't really have one. If y'all want to follow me on Twitter, just follow me on Twitter at xChaseMoney. Like you can check my channel if you want. You know, don't feel the need to do it. But I appreciate the